Diddy will be sued. And I say will be because nothing has been filed yet, by at least 120 people in the next 30 days.
Today in a New York federal courtroom, Sean Diddy Combs told the judge he was, quote, a little nervous. The rap mogul's criminal trial began this morning. He is trafficking, racketeering, and more.
Just when we thought the Diddy scandal couldn't get any darker, the FBI has uncovered something absolutely horrifying. Beneath the sprawling, opulent mansions of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs lies a hidden world no one could have imagined. As federal agents continue to comb through his properties, what they've found has sent shockwaves across Hollywood and beyond. A secret underground prison buried beneath his estate. This isn't just a headline, it's a waking nightmare. Picture it. Agents descending into the dark, dank tunnels, their flashlights cutting through the eerie silence. Cells, hidden rooms, claustrophobic passageways. And then, the most chilling discovery of all, these tunnels don't just stop at Diddy's property. No, they extend further, connecting to other mansions, other estates, like a sinister web of secrets buried right under our noses.
It sounded crazy, like I said before. They said that 2,300 people reached out to the law firm, and out of the 2,300 people, I guess they decided to go with just a little over 100, which seems like it's they just put out the number and everybody's calling to see if they can get a check.
It's insane. It's insane. Now, again, he did say that nothing has been filed yet because he says he wants to make sure that they do their due diligence and get this right.
And we can't help but ask, what was this underground prison used for? Was it a holding place for victims? Could it have been part of a larger, more sinister system, an elite network of control? The implications are staggering and the questions are endless. Theories are already swirling online, and whispers of conspiracy have taken hold. Some speculate this isn't just about Diddy. Could this discovery connect to the long-rumored underground bunkers said to be used by the rich and powerful? Hollywood has always had its secrets, but this feels like something darker. It reminds us of the alleged tunnels beneath the Playboy Mansion, or even the infamous Epstein Island network. Could Diddy's underground passageways be part of the same shadowy world? And if so, who else has been walking these corridors, and what horrors have they witnessed? The timing of this discovery couldn't be more damning. Diddy is already in the fight of his life, facing charges for trafficking, racketeering, and allegations of unimaginable abuse. His trial is underway, but the FBI isn't waiting around. Their investigation is relentless, and every day seems to uncover something worse than the last. This isn't just about allegations of misconduct anymore, it's becoming a matter of national importance. The story keeps growing, the stakes keep rising, and the pressure is mounting. If these tunnels could talk, what would they reveal? Could they hold the answers to the decades of rumors that have surrounded Diddy and his infamous parties?
Because we now know who all the prosecutors will be on Diddy's trial. They're all women. They have assembled a team of female prosecutors, and that is definitely not by accident.
Those parties. The stories about them have been whispered for years, but now they're coming into sharper focus. What really happened during those wild, exclusive gatherings? Witnesses have described scenes that sound like something out of a nightmare. Masked figures, strange rituals, and acts too shocking to fully describe. Substances allegedly flowed freely, and people were said to disappear into private rooms, only to emerge hours or sometimes days later, looking dazed and broken. Were these underground spaces just a backdrop for debauchery, or were they something much, much darker? We have to ask, were these dungeons prisons? Or were they chambers for something even more twisted? Former girlfriends of Diddy, including Cassey Ventura, have already painted a terrifying picture of what life was like behind the scenes. Cassey has accused Diddy of controlling her every move, isolating her, and forcing her into situations she described as humiliating and degrading. She has testified about the so-called freak-offs, the now infamous sessions where women were allegedly coerced into bizarre and degrading acts in front of Diddy and his entourage. These weren't just wild party antics, they were orchestrated events, meticulously planned and disturbingly executed. Cassey described being pressured into situations where she felt she had no choice but to comply, fearing the consequences if she didn't. Were these underground rooms the setting for such horrors? And just how many people were complicit in keeping this monstrous system running?
Centerpiece of a lot of what happened during direct testimony were freak-offs. And what the prosecution tried to show was that he forced and or coerced her into doing these freak-offs. And we've talked about this earlier this week, that at least my opinion is that in a lot of these, the prosecution just didn't close the loop. It was something she felt.
The more we learn, the more chilling this case becomes. Cassey's allegations have opened the floodgates, with over 100 individuals now coming forward with their own stories of abuse, coercion, and violence at the hands of Diddy and his associates. Many of these accounts are eerily similar, describing a pattern of manipulation, threats, and exploitation. And yet, even as these stories come to light, Diddy's legal team continues to deny everything, accusing the government of targeting him because of his race and claiming the charges are baseless. But how do they explain the tunnels? How do they justify the prison cells, the hidden rooms? And what about the growing pile of evidence from text messages to video recordings that paint a damning picture of Diddy's alleged double life? The tunnels themselves have become a symbol of everything that's wrong with this story. Their existence raises so many questions. How long have they been there? Who built them and for what purpose? Could they have been used to smuggle people or contraband, or were they simply a way for Diddy and his inner circle to move unseen, hidden from prying eyes? Some experts have pointed out that underground bunkers and tunnels are not uncommon in the estates of the ultra-wealthy, but most are built for security or as panic rooms. This, however, feels different. This feels calculated, sinister. And the fact that some of these tunnels allegedly connect to other properties raises even more disturbing questions. Who else knew about them? Who else used them?
Dishonest, violent, horrible. A promiscuous swinger who lied to and cheated on multiple partners. Incredibly, that's how Sean Diddy Combs' own lawyers describe the billionaire music mogul, currently facing serious trafficking charges in a New York court.
The revelations about these tunnels have sparked a frenzy of speculation online. Some are drawing parallels to other high-profile scandals involving hidden passages and underground networks. Others are wondering how deep this rabbit hole goes, both figuratively and literally. Could there be more tunnels, more hidden rooms waiting to be discovered? And if so, what will they reveal? Hollywood has always been a place of glitz and glamour, but beneath the surface, it seems there's a darkness that few ever see. These tunnels are a physical manifestation of that darkness, a reminder that what happens behind closed doors or beneath the ground can be far more horrific than we ever imagine. And then there are the parties, the wild, hedonistic gatherings that have become the stuff of legend. We've all heard the stories, the rumors of what went on behind the velvet ropes. But now with these new discoveries, those rumors are starting to feel a lot more real. Witnesses have described scenes of chaos and excess, where anything and everything was allowed as long as it pleased Diddy. Substances were allegedly handed out like candy, and the lines between consent and coercion blurred beyond recognition. Were these parties just the tip of the iceberg? Were they a front for something even more sinister? And how many people turned a blind eye to what was happening?
Well, the things that I experienced with him were monster-like. That stuff almost destroyed my life.
I can't help but wonder, if the walls of these tunnels could talk, what stories would they tell? How many secrets are still buried in Diddy's mansions or in the homes of other Hollywood elites? The FBI isn't done digging, and neither are we. What they find next could change everything. And then came the tapes, hidden deep within the underground bunker, concealed in what investigators described as a secured vault. These weren't just ordinary tapes either. No, they were labeled cryptically, with dates and code names that could mean anything or everything. What's on them? That's the question haunting everyone right now. Early whispers suggest they could contain footage of the infamous freak-offs, or even worse, evidence of activities so shocking, so scandalous, that it could bring Hollywood's elite crashing down. Could these tapes hold the answers to years of rumors? And who else might appear in them? If they're real, the fallout could be catastrophic, not just for Diddy, but for anyone who dared to step into his world. Authorities are reportedly working around the clock to analyze the contents of the tapes. While no official announcements have been made, leaks from inside the investigation suggest the material could implicate not only Diddy, but also other high-profile figures in the entertainment industry. Imagine the chaos if names start dropping. Could these tapes reveal the faces of powerful moguls, celebrities, or even politicians? The possibilities are endless and terrifying. If this evidence comes to light, it could be the biggest scandal Hollywood has ever faced. We've seen powerful names fall before, but this could change everything. The question is, how far will those involved go to keep these secrets buried?
I want to start with alleged victim number 4, who goes by the name Mia. It's an alias. She is one of the people who is testifying where the judge has granted her anonymity. She is on the stand, but everybody in the courtroom has been warned. Do not reveal her identity. Do not even give a physical description of her.
Meanwhile, survivors are beginning to step forward, their stories painting a grim picture of what allegedly happened behind Diddy's gilded doors. Many describe being lured in with promises of glamour and opportunity, only to find themselves trapped in a nightmare. Some have claimed they were offered hush money, large sums of cash, we're talking millions of dollars, to stay silent and disappear. But now, emboldened by the ongoing investigation and the courage of others, they're refusing to be silenced. They're speaking out, and their testimonies are chilling. One survivor described feeling like she was invisible, just another pawn in his twisted games. Another said that when she tried to leave, she was threatened with consequences that would ruin her life. These are stories of fear, control, and unimaginable trauma.
So we just got this new audio from the Diddy trial, and it is pretty explosive. This is audio of a voicemail that Diddy left to the Jane Doe who's been testifying in this trial for the last couple days. And he sounds really annoyed. He's talking about her maybe giving him the silent treatment, and his response is, I got a busy life. I can't be dealing with your silent treatment, and we got to keep it.
Cassey Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend, has emerged as a central figure in this unraveling scandal. Her allegations not only brought attention to Diddy's alleged misconduct, but also gave others the strength to come forward. She's been called a whistleblower, a key player in cracking this case wide open. Cassie's claims about the freak-offs were some of the first to shed light on what really happened during Diddy's infamous parties. She described a world where boundaries didn't exist, where guests were allegedly coerced into participating in disturbing activities. Cassie's bravery has been a beacon for other survivors, but it's also made her a target. Diddy's team has tried to discredit her, painting her as bitter and vengeful, but with every new allegation, her story only gains more credibility. And then there's the darkest possibility of all, the speculation about ritualistic behavior during these events. Some survivors have hinted at practices that go beyond just wild parties or illicit activities. Could there have been an element of control, of power dynamics so extreme they bordered on the unthinkable? Allegations have surfaced of masked figures, strange symbols. These claims are eerily reminiscent of other high-profile scandals, like the Epstein Island network or the underground tunnels rumored to exist beneath the Playboy Mansion. The parallels are impossible to ignore. Could Diddy's underground prison have been part of a larger, more sinister network? And if so, who else was involved? These are questions investigators are undoubtedly asking, and so are we.
They've been afraid of coming forward. They've been afraid of what he could potentially do to them within the industry, what he could do to them professionally, maybe even personally. And so yes, it's been a dark secret they've held on to for a very, very long time.
But what about the neighbors? People living near Diddy's estates have reportedly started to come forward with strange observations over the years. Some have described seeing luxury cars arriving late at night, with figures hurriedly ushered inside. Others recall hearing loud music and muffled voices that seemed to go on for days, though no one ever explicitly saw what was happening behind those gates. One neighbor allegedly claimed that private security guards patrolled the perimeter at all hours, making it clear that outsiders were not welcome. Were these just the trappings of a celebrity lifestyle, or were they signs of something far more organized and deliberate? The secrecy surrounding these properties only adds to the growing speculation that Diddy's mansion wasn't just a home. It was the hub of something much bigger. And then there's the question of the underground passages themselves. Could they have been used to smuggle not just people, but illegal substances or other contraband? Some investigators are reportedly looking into the possibility that these tunnels might have been designed to bypass law enforcement entirely. If so, they could have been part of a larger operation, extending beyond Diddy's properties and involving multiple estates. Some online theorists even suggest a connection to private airstrips or hidden docks, allowing for the discreet transport of whatever or whoever needed to be moved. While these claims remain unverified, the geographic layout of the tunnels seems to support the idea that they were built to connect, not isolate. This raises even more disturbing questions about who else might have been involved and what these secret routes were truly designed to hide.
He cornered me. And then he asked me, with his arm up, he asked me, how you doing? I'm kind of like, wow, this is, what the heck? Very uncomfortable. And then he rubbed his hand down my breast. He said, if you need anything at all, you let me know.
Adding to the intrigue are reports of coded messages and encrypted files found on devices seized during the mansion raids. According to sources close to the investigation, these digital files are being analyzed for connections to a potential network of accomplices. Some of the encrypted content allegedly points to offshore accounts, shell companies, and payments made to unidentified individuals. Were these financial transactions tied to the alleged activities within the mansion? If so, it could mean that a vast and carefully orchestrated system was in place to fund and protect whatever was happening behind closed doors. These revelations make it clear that this investigation isn't just about Diddy, it's about unraveling the layers of secrecy that have kept this alleged operation hidden for so long. We also need to talk about the legal power plays happening behind the scenes. Diddy's legal team is reportedly using every tactic in the book to shift the narrative and discredit the investigation. From accusations of racial bias to claims of selective prosecution, his lawyers are pulling out all the stops to paint their client as a victim of systemic injustice. But behind the courtroom drama, whispers of high-powered influence are beginning to emerge. Some say that certain individuals close to Diddy are lobbying for the case to be quietly dropped or delayed, leveraging their connections to avoid further fallout. If this is true, it raises serious concerns about how far the reach of this alleged network extends and whether justice will ever truly be served.
I'm sorry, I'm just I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck during those years. You're still stuck 21 years later.
And let's not forget the psychological toll on the survivors. Many of them have described years of manipulation, isolation, and emotional trauma that extended far beyond the alleged physical abuse. Some have spoken of being cut off from their families, their phones monitored, and their movements controlled. Others have said they were gaslit into believing that they were complicit in their own suffering, making it even harder for them to come forward. The courage it takes to stand up against someone as powerful as Diddy cannot be overstated. These survivors are not just fighting for justice, they're fighting against an entire system designed to silence them. Their bravery is a stark reminder of the human cost of these alleged crimes, and their voices are forcing the world to confront the darker side of fame and power. The idea of a hidden elite network isn't as far-fetched as it once seemed. For years, there have been whispers of secret societies operating in the shadows of Hollywood, using their power and wealth to exploit the vulnerable. The tunnels beneath Diddy's mansion feel like a physical manifestation of that dark underworld, a labyrinth of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Could this be the beginning of a larger reckoning? If Diddy's secrets are coming to light, how many more powerful figures are hiding their own skeletons? And how far will they go to ensure those secrets remain hidden? The deeper we dig, the more we realize this isn't just about one man, it's about an entire system built on silence and complicity.
Let's talk about the filth that's starting to come out in the early days of the Diddy trial. This, of course, is P. Diddy. Surprise, surprise, he's a creep. Surprise, surprise, he's done horrible things.
As the investigation continues, the stakes couldn't be higher. The tapes, the tunnels, the testimonies, they're all pieces of a puzzle that's far from complete. But one thing is certain, the truth is coming, and it's not going to be pretty. We can only imagine the panic behind the scenes as powerful people scramble to protect themselves. Deals are being made, lawyers are working overtime, and the air is thick with desperation. But will it be enough? Or is this the moment when the walls finally come crashing down? What happens next is anyone's guess, but one thing's for sure, this story is far from over. The tapes could drop at any moment, and when they do, they might reveal secrets that will shake Hollywood to its core. Who will be exposed? What dark truths will finally come to light? And how will the industry recover from the fallout? The answers are coming, but for now, all we can do is wait and watch. What do you think? Are we on the brink of uncovering Hollywood's darkest secrets? Or will those in power manage to bury the truth yet again? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, this is only the beginning. Stay tuned. Things are about to get even darker. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.